Hello, Virgo. So this is your reading for love and relationships for July 2017. Give me just a few more seconds while I shuffle the cards. Okay, let's get started. The first card is going to be an 8 of Cups reversed. Your second card is a Queen of Swords reversed. This is 9 of Cups. 10 of Pentacles reversed. I have an Ace of Cups. I have the High Priest. Page of Swords. Emperor in reverse. And then the Moon. All right, and I will pull the outcome card after the main reading. Okay, so looking at this, you have 3 major arcana cards here. You do have them heading towards the end of the middle of July, towards the end, near the future. Okay, these 3 major arcana cards settled right here in the corner here, heading to the south. This High Priest, this is about being wise, counseling, understanding your spiritual destiny, being spiritually centered. And sometimes the High Priest is symbolic of a very serious contract between 2 people, even a marriage contract. It's also about faith and devotion and your belief in something higher than yourself. Then you have the Emperor in reverse, and the Emperor is all about structure and protecting the family. The Emperor is actually a father figure, the highest father figure in the tarot, actually, over all the kings. And so this Emperor in reverse means there's someone, even a father figure or a husband, who is not ruling the way they should. And sometimes people can abuse their authority. They can have power over you. And so when you see that Emperor, the structure and the consistency and the commitment and the discipline have kind of dissipated. You know, there is no structure. Things are chaotic. Someone is someone is running away from their responsibilities in the relationship, in that context, in the context of a relationship reading. And then you have the Moon, which is about those fears, and it's also a warning from the tarot that there's something dangerous that you should be aware of. You know, you should also follow your gut, because the Moon is very much linked to the subconscious, and you might feel here in this situation, especially with the Emperor acting out and losing control, that okay, there's something not right with this picture, and I need to understand what it is, and I need to prepare myself, and I need to protect myself. So the Moon is definitely, especially since it's in your future, the Moon is a word of caution here. But the other interesting thing, this Emperor was precluded by this 10 of Pentacles reversed, and the 10 of Pentacles is about that happy family. happy home life, happy relationship for some of you. And so when that's reversed as well, it's sort of already a smaller omen of what's going to happen with this emperor later on in the future. So your major arcana cards and then these pentacles, which are your element, are already telling an interesting story. Story meaning what is the grand narrative of what's happening for you in July. Now you have some cups here with those swords. And these cups, you have an 8 of cups here with a 9 of cups. And then in the center you have this Ace of Cups. And of course, Ace of Cups is that card of joy. Aces are beginnings as well. It's about falling in love. It's about experiencing true happiness, or the beginning of true happiness, following your bliss, and even an emotional renewal. So at the center of your story for July, this is about finding your emotional, just being in love, having this relationship be emotionally centered without all the chaos. And so these cups are happening here in the first part of your reading. And then once again, as I've noticed, as we head into a little bit more chaos, especially with this Emperor in reverse and then the Moon, I'm getting a sense that you're a little bit, some of you Virgos are still a little bit emotionally vulnerable right now. And it could be because of these swords, which are, there are only 2 of them, but this Queen of Swords could actually represent a person or a partner who is being kind of shut off. Swords are always very difficult. And when you have a Queen of Swords, she's seen a lot of tragedy. She's very wise, and she uses those past experiences to make the right decisions. And it is an air sign. This is the element of thinking and the psychological aspects of our existence and how we perceive reality, how we make judgments. It's also communication as well. So when this Queen of Swords is reversed, it's definitely indicating that there is someone who some of you may be attached to, and it can be a man or woman. A queen, the energy of queens can apply to men. Likewise, the energy of kings can apply to women. Some of you might be dealing with someone who's emotionally unavailable, who's shut off from their emotions. And that can be difficult, especially with these cups. So we have a Queen of Swords who's closing off emotions, who's being defensive against the emotion of the cups. And when you look at that 8 of Cups, the card of letting go and emotionally nurturing yourself, and once again you have that theme of the Moon, which will show up here with the major arcana card, the Moon. So there's some subconscious, when I say subconscious, there are things that you Virgos may not be aware of what's going on. All you know is that it's a very anxious feeling that some of you might be feeling. That, there's something wrong with this relationship, or you've been going through this struggle in the relationship over and over. And our subconscious has so much power even over our conscious, because the subconscious is where the messages that we need to hear reside. The things that we need to listen to come up from our subconscious. So in a way, it's interesting that you have this 8 of Cups reversed, that we are not listening to our subconscious to heal, to protect ourselves, to find our truest selves in this relationship first before we can give to someone else. And this Queen of Swords seems to be taking the sword against that, against your healing, against your happiness. The energy that a particular person might be having towards you is preventing your healing. And so then we have this Nine of Cups. We have more generosity, more emotions. And sometimes we feel like, oh, well, maybe if I keep giving emotionally, it'll be okay. This is the card of hospitality, but it's also that wish card. In tarot, when this card shows up, it's an indication that a wish might come true. But you also need to be very careful that you're not wishing for something that is out of reach, or that you're not letting those hopes and wishes and what you want to be keep you in a place that is going to be very dangerous for you, as the moon indicates. Okay, but so we have this, we don't have you leaving, we have you staying, we have you being supportive and giving your emotions and trying to make it better. So when I look at those cups, it's telling me a lot about this particular struggle that you might be having here. So when we do get to the middle, remember, Pentacles represent the material world and the physical world, our home, our finances, the physical aspects of a relationship, and it's being countered with the High Priest and the Ace of Cups. And this is a very strong combination because, as I've mentioned before, the High Priest is the card of devotion and faith and tradition and family. And I kind of feel some of you Virgos are at the center of the family. You're the one trying to hold it together. Now, some of you are not in family situations. Some of you are giving everything emotionally to this relationship. This Ace of Cups, being in love, sometimes we feel that, oh, well, I'm in love with this person, so I really want this relationship to work. And so we have that spiritual sense of being loyal to the relationship, to find ways of making the relationship better and devoting our energies to fixing the relationship. And so there is a danger. There is a danger when we do that. It doesn't mean it's necessarily a bad thing, but as I said here in the first three cards, there's a danger in giving so much of our emotional devotion to a relationship, especially emotionally, when the physical aspects, when someone is not physically committed, when someone is not doing the things in the physical realm that they need to do to keep a relationship together. And so I see, once again, that I see all of this emotional energy coming, but it's trying to battle and it's trying to overcome this Queen of Swords reversed and this Ten of Pentacles reversed. And you just get a sense that this is not turning out to be a healthy situation. Now, in some respects, all of you, there are many Virgos who are having different experiences like this. So in general, what this spread is speaking to is this being emotionally on lockdown in a relationship and not taking care of yourself. And this sense of the High Priest, this spiritual obligation And some of you could actually be going to counseling. Some of you could be dealing with someone who needs to get it together and get help, or maybe there does need to be an intervention. But in a different relationship sense, this high priest, it does convey this very serious energy, especially for those long-term relationships where emotionally we're so devoted and we're trying to keep the relationship together, or we're staying put emotionally because we feel we need to sacrifice ourselves. That is the overall tone that I'm getting. Someone who's emotionally unavailable, or someone who's not committing, and you're giving everything emotionally to the relationship. So, having said that, as we head into your future, we have a Page of Swords. And Page of Swords, it's about finding truth. It's about having an important discussion. It's about resolving problems, especially communication problems. And so when we get to that Emperor and that Moon, I think that what we're dealing with is a big delay. We're getting a message of truth, some type of information or discussion that is not going to necessarily be the news you want to hear, or the information or the realization that you want to have. But I feel like it is going to happen here, that there is a need to sit down, talk, and try to work things out. In other contexts, this Page of Swords is bringing some type of information or truth that's going to turn things a little chaotic, that there is a danger here, that you might actually learn something about this person, or there's going to be an important truth in the relationship that you just need to be on standby about, especially with this Emperor in reverse. And so Virgos, for some of you who are married, or who have a happy family, or you want to keep your family stable and grounded, there's a lot of turbulence going on with a partner, a lot of turbulence going on underneath in a relationship that will have to be addressed. For other relationships, for those of you who still might be single or in a new relationship, I think that you need to pull back emotionally. I think you need to listen to your gut, especially with your Eight of Cups reversed. And there definitely needs to be a need to center yourself in this relationship, because the energy of this Queen of Swords reverse and this Emperor reverse together are going to pull you off track. And so that's why this Moon is coming along here at the end of your spread in your future, to sort of like give you a heads up, like, let's not lose sight of our happiness. Let's not lose sight of what it is that we really want here. Okay, some things you just can't fix. Doesn't necessarily mean a breakup, but I do feel that for some of you Virgos, and we know that Virgos do tend to be martyrs, they do tend to be the ones who hold everything together, but that can only go so far if your partner is not supportive or committed as well. So I'm going to shuffle for this outcome card. Okay, so I have a Page of Wands reversed. And for that Page of Wands, we have a joy of adventure, a joy of starting a journey. Pages are also beginners, okay? So when this is in reverse, I kind of feel like it's not necessarily applying to you. It feels as if someone is not ready to fully commit into a relationship, or they might actually end up taking a step back in the relationship. Um, like I said, there are many different contexts for you Virgos because all of you are in completely different situations. But this Page of Wands, which is the enthusiasm and the joy that someone brings to a relationship, they're really into you. They're really committed. Wands are about your motivation and passion and your desire and your will. And so when this Page of Wands is sort of reversed, there might be a pulling back. Someone's going to be pulling back a little bit. Someone is not going to be as enthusiastic as they were in the beginning of the relationship. That's not necessarily a bad thing. But sometimes in relationships, there's that some people run away from emotions, as indicated by that Queen of Swords. And so the outcome that I'm seeing here with your spread in your reading is there's going to be a little bit of a slow period. There's going to be a little bit less motivation as far as the other partner. This could most likely be a temporary situation. Maybe this is what some of you might be afraid of, that, oh, this person is going to pull back. They're not going to call me. They're going to leave me behind. But I think that sometimes that can be a good thing. I think emotionally you need to pull back as well, Virgos. Don't be a martyr. Don't try to accommodate this person. I think the Emperor is signaling that this relationship issue for some of you, it needs time to sort of get a little bit more stable. Things need to slow down. But there's not a commitment yet. You might want a commitment here with the High Priest. But the Emperor is saying that in the physical realm, especially with that Ten of Pentacles reversed, is that in the real life, outside of our emotional commitments, things still need time to build. Things still need time to get stable. And this person or the other partner that some of you are dealing with, overall, they need to be committed to the relationship just as much as you. So, as I said, this energy of the Page of Wands could be signaling a pulling back and a little less passion for some of you who just started dating or who are interested in someone. But like I said, I see this as a temporary thing. You might be afraid of it. I don't think you should be afraid of it. So that was your reading, Virgo. And just a heads up, I'm going to have to limit my hours. I've got a lot of things going on right now, especially with my teaching and my other commitments. And so I'm going to be adjusting my schedule. I'll probably be available Fridays and Saturdays, afternoons and evenings. So I do apologize, especially now that my mornings and my early afternoons are not going to be available anymore. But for my regulars, I'll try as much as possible to accommodate you and look out for you. So I hope you're enjoying your summer. I wish you love and light, and I will talk to you soon.